He has pioneered AICT Idea Lab and AICT Spices offered by IDC. He has earlier headed the Policy and Academic Planning Bureau, Prime Minister's Special Scheme for Students for Jammu and Kashmir and Skill Development since June 2018. Dr. Saxena is currently on deputation to AICT from Technology, Information, Forecasting and Assessment Council, India's technology think tank, where he has been working as a scientist since April 2000. He was a member of the team that scripted Technology Vision 2035 for the country and deeply involved in the development of technology roadmap for education, first ever forecast exercise for the sector. As a part of the team implementing projects emerging out of Technology Vision 2020, Dr. Saxena piloted the activities of Mission Reach, that is relevance and excellence in achieving new heights in educational institution, a major initiative to reorient the higher science and technical education and make it relevant to industries. Dr. Saxena was selected by the Department of Science and Technology, DST, to undergo executive education program on science, technology and innovation policy at the JF Kennedy School of Government at the Harvard University in 2006. He was trained in project management of the World Bank funded
Nadeem, can you hear me?
Sir, am I audible now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, sir, there was a network discrepancy and maybe it was logged out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So prior to his association with TFAC, Dr. Saxena was CSIR Research Fellow and Postdoctoral Fellow in National Physical Laboratory, New Delhi. He specialized in the area of acoustic remote sensing and its application to air pollution, and was involved in establishing country's first indigenous Doppler sonar capable of remotely profiling and turbulence in the lower atmosphere. This is a brief introduction of an exceptional personality, Dr. Neeraj Saxena. I, on behalf of ATMEC family, heartily welcome you on this FDP. Thank you, sir. Sir, over to you, sir.
Yeah. Very good afternoon to all the participants of this FDP, and my greetings to all on this occasion of 73rd Republic Day. So while we celebrate, we are also learning. So that's a very good sign that the pandemic has not stopped any of our activities, especially the education part of it. Even though education has been relegated to lower pedestal, but in the last 2 years since this NEP was announced, we have been working hard to really see that it gets implemented. So I'll be taking you to, I'm sure that in the last few sessions that you have been attending, you have got fairly good idea about all these aspects which you see on the screen. So the new policy talks about increasing GER to 50% by 2035, technology in education. All these things, I'm sure that they have all been deliberated. And I would go to the second last one, which is accessible education. And in fact, in the ones at the top that you see, AICT has already been taking action much before NEP was announced. So on accessible education, we are shortly going to announce a scheme which is to set up 15 model institutions offering accessible education. So it will take about a month's time. But the one which I'm going to talk about and focus on is the holistic multidisciplinary education. Now we have the Prime Minister, after he launched this policy, in one of his speeches, he says, our experiment should be the guiding principle of the new age learning. So engage, explore, experience, express, and excel. And he says that's what students should be doing. They should be engaged in activities, events, projects as per their interests. So as a response to his call for new age learning, we have conceived this Idea Labs. And IDEA is an acronym for Idea Development, Evaluation, and Application. And this is going to be a 24/7 by 365 lab. So that means there is hardly any lab that is there in the campus which will be without lock. So this is going to be without lock. Others are not. Others are put under the lock. So this is going to be a distinguishing feature of this lab. And it is not just for 1 year. It is for all the years. It is for all the disciplines, and it is for everybody in the campus. So for the first time, we are going to set up this kind of facility where complete infrastructure to convert an idea into a prototype will be available under one roof. And this is to encourage students to come forward and apply their knowledge to do something creative. So we intend to make engineering students more curious, imaginative, and creative. Engineering education should become more engaging than it is today. The classrooms are today are hardly attracting anyone. The online education starts from row one itself. So there is nothing much left for the students to come to the classrooms. So we believe that an intervention like Idea Lab will change the scenario in our campuses. It's all about training them in critical thinking, problem solving, design thinking, and also prepare faculty for new age learning. So it is not just that students have to be using these facilities. And in fact, we have started this whole scheme by focusing on faculty development. So I'll be talking about some good stories that we have from the faculty development programs that we conducted during this pandemic period. And we want all colleges to be hooked to this Idea Lab network by having one Idea Lab in their campus. So it's a big plan. We want to have a very vibrant and pulsating Idea Lab network. So I'm sure you are familiar with 21st century skills. They've been talked about ad nauseum now. Collaboration and teamwork, creativity, and all these aspects, these are more of soft skills. And if they are like horizontals, and if you take the disciplines as the verticals, what we really need is to put together these two horizontals and verticals and impart holistic training and education to our students. So this also, I'm sure you are familiar. NBA has identified these graduate attributes. So, these also need to be covered. And if you see the list, you'll find only few of them are actually technical. Most of them are soft skills or human skills and are really required to make engineers well-rounded. So an Idea Lab infrastructure has some equipment, tools, consumables worth about 1 crore rupees, and it requires about 3,000 to 5,000 square feet of built up and furnished space. Since there is going to be no lock, so it has to be kept very secure and very safe. And these are some of the equipment that you see in this list. And they are to be available and kept ready for utilization round the clock. This is a suggested layout of how you are going to spread the Idea Lab, and it takes care of everything that is required to showcase before industries. So we want industries to be attracted towards the campus, towards this Idea Lab, and make use of this facility. So it has to be very impressive to the industry. So this is not a fixed layout, but this is what we suggest to the institutions that who want to go for an Idea Lab. So we have defined the team. The head of institution, by virtue of his office, becomes his or her office becomes the chief mentor of this Idea Lab. So you can see that the responsibility of implementation of this Idea Lab project is actually resting with the chief mentor. Usually it doesn't happen. In most of the schemes, there is a PI identified who is generally not the head of institution. Then faculty coordinators and co-coordinators have to be identified who are going to be the real implementers. And then we have Idea Lab trainers whom we call as gurus. They are people who will be soiling their hands, working with the students, the users of the lab. They have to be actually be out there, and they really make the spine of the Idea Lab. So while faculty takes care of the techno management aspects, these gurus shoulder the responsibility of running the Idea Labs, keeping them alive. And then, since this is going to be a student-centric activity, we give opportunity to students to become ambassadors. And at a time, there can be 3, and they can be rotated after 3 months. So this is how an Idea Lab team is, and all of this works in close coordination, and we interact with the Idea Lab team in each of the centers on a weekly basis. So that is how we interact. That is the frequency with which we are in touch with Idea Lab, and no other scheme this feature is there. So as I said, it has to be kept open all throughout. Student projects, internships, ideation camps are to be conducted by keeping them open. Training for multidisciplinary education and research. This new education policy talks about and harps and insists on multidisciplinary education and research. So we would like to position this Idea Lab as a central facility to which all the departments have to hook. So this is a central facility available for all, and there will be incentive put in place for utilization of this Idea Lab by the departments. So it is not a activity of the institution. It has to be made use by all the departments. In fact, many of the Idea Labs which are shaping up, they have reported that they have involved at least one faculty from each department that they have. So already teams are in place to ensure that all the departments are participating. So programs to attract schools and industries. So these are the forward and backward linkages, you can say. We want to give good opportunity for the schools also and their teachers to come forward, and instead of making dummy or non-working models, they should come, try out with their own hands, translate their ideas into prototypes. And industries can, of course, make use of these facilities by paying. And so we have this Idea Lab is going to be a activity intensive unit. So we already identified and also apportioned money for this. So each year, minimum 15 lakh has to be spent for all these activities. The idea is that all the equipment must be put to use. In the other programs, we do release funds, maybe even other funding agencies, they provide funds for setting up labs, but for activities, not much is given. And here the idea was that everything, every equipment that is in Idea Lab has to be put to use. So we have identified all these activities and their frequency is also defined, at what interval these have to be conducted, who is going to be the target audience, and what will be the duration and how many numbers. So everything has been defined in the scheme document. You can download that from our site. So we can see that it is going to be a very vibrant entity in that campus. So this is how present pattern of funding is. 50% is provided by AICT, and the other 50% is expected from college, preferably from industry. And the non-AICT contribution has to be deposited first in the separate bank account that has to be opened for the Idea Lab, and then we release. So you can see that in the first year itself, or within the first few months, 80% of the funds are available with the Idea Lab. So the project duration is kept 2 years. That means all the recurring, non-recurring expenditure has to be completed or exhausted within that. So everything has to be put in place, and then we will continue to handhold and monitor for 5 years. And if the college wants it, it can be even beyond. So once an Idea Lab is set up, it becomes part of this Idea Lab network. As of now, we have 49, and the number is bound to grow. We would like to see more and more Idea Labs across the country coming up. So what value Idea Lab brings to an institution? So infrastructure supporting translation of ideas into prototypes, and multidisciplinary education and research that we have already talked about. Enhance employability of the students, because the students will have access to these facilities round the clock. Whenever they want, they can just walk in and start using it. So the skills that we are talking about, 21st century skills, will be imparted through this setup. And training of teachers for new age learning. So as I said earlier, classrooms are no longer an attraction for the students. So while we want the students to be trained in 21st century skills, there is a need for teachers also to evolve. Opportunity for multiple departments. Most of the schemes allow or fund one department or at best two, but here multiple departments can take part in this without actually contributing. So once this Idea Lab is set up, they can conceive projects which utilize the facilities in these Idea Labs. So once this Idea Lab is in place, it brings a lot of visibility, especially among the industries. So that brings an added advantage. And if there is an industry who wants to, which wants to match AICT's funds, we allow the name of that industry to be prefixed before AICT in that Idea Lab. So if ABC industry wants to contribute 55 lakh, then this lab becomes ABC AICT Idea Lab. So that's a privilege we are offering. So advantage of a node in national network. So once it is part of the network, all of you are engineers, you understand the power of networks. So all these benefits can be reaped. In fact, not just Idea Lab benefits, but the institution also, which is hosting the Idea Lab, also gets benefited by being in the part of this network. In fact, recently we have, based on a direction we received from Office of Principal Scientific Advisor, which has started this iSTEM facility platform, which is a kind of platform where all the public funded institutions and the equipment have to share these facilities through that platform. And Idea Lab have been asked to become part of that. So all of them are getting onboarded on that platform. So through Idea Lab, the institution is also going to benefit. So similarly, all such initiatives which are taken by the government, through Idea Lab, the institution will take advantage of that. So value of that's a value to an institution. And mentoring by NSC expert, National Steering Committee for this Idea Lab scheme is there. I'll talk about it. So this mentoring is also available. We have some 6 experts who are available. They are passionate people working with their hands. They have spent their life working with hands, and they are available. They come forward and handhold. So that also is not available under any other scheme. Then what we look at when the proposals come to us, so credentials of the chief mentor, credentials of faculty coordinator, co-coordinator. And this is an activity which requires complete involvement of faculty. So what we look forward is go-getter kind of people. So those who can get the job done, who can move around, get the things, keep the things moving. That is an attribute for these coordinators, because a lot of networking, backward and forward linkages, all these have to be taken care of. So we require faculty who can move around. Participation of industry and academic institutions. The more industry participation at the inception, better it is for the health of the Idea Lab, and at least its longevity is ensured. So after 2 years also, this Idea Lab has to continue. So there is a requirement of continuous funding, and academic institutions can take advantage of linkages with this network and impress upon industry to contribute. So what we also see is the quantum of funds which are going to be made available beyond the 2 years. So that shows the intensity with which the college wants to pursue this project. And the project proposal, we asked for the vision, implementation plan, sustenance plan, and all these things. So even the additional equipment. So what more institution wants? What is the vision? To what extent it wants to grow? So all these things are decisive in granting of this project. So what is the expected outcome? So first is the creation of infrastructure supporting translation of ideas into prototypes. We have found that the equipment that we talk about for Idea Labs are there in the institutions, but they are spread. And it's very difficult for anyone to make use of them because they are spread. Promotion of culture of working with hands. This we are gradually losing out as we see more and more of our students gravitating towards computer science and information technology. But we need people who work with hands, who are ready to soil their hands, and experiential learning becomes very important. So the focus of this entire Idea Lab concept is to promote experiential learning in a big way. And if you notice that what we do in our, or what the setup does is promote education. So the entire structure is geared for imparting education, but education and learning are different. We want experiential learning. I am qualifying that, learning with experiential learning, which is missing. So it is through this intervention that we want to promote experiential learning and make the campuses more vibrant. And this will ensure that the employability of the engineering graduate goes up. Once they have done things with their own hands, they'll be much more confident. So students who have no choice but to pass exams and move from one grade to other, one semester to other, just by memorizing and regurgitating them on the answer sheets, does not make them very good engineer. They may excel in memorizing, but they will not definitely become, because they will be lacking in experiential learning. So employability will go up if they do things by themselves. So promotion of multidisciplinary activities, I have already talked about it. And new education policy talks about multidisciplinary education, and this is the way we feel an Idea Lab can be a fulcrum for multidisciplinary education. Outreach to nearby academic institutions, and quality education, livelihood, creative opportunity. These are the things that we expect will be the outcomes of the Idea Lab in the colleges. Unlike other programs, we have a very good monitoring mechanism here, where we will monitor the labs on 12 to 15 parameters, and the data for which is to be provided by the labs on a continuous basis. So these parameters are on the input side, on the process side, the output side, and the weightage of output is much more than input. So they are not at the same level. So on a monthly basis, a report is generated and sent to the institutions. So, and a composite score reflecting overall monthly performance is generated, and it is put on the leaderboard. For all the Idea Labs in the network, the composite score of that month is displayed, and based on the number, the position on the leaderboard is fixed. So this leaderboard keeps changing, and this is an incentive for the Idea Labs to perform. And it is not just about creating competition between them. We also have a concept of hand holding between Idea Labs. So if any Idea Lab is at the bottom of the leaderboard, and any Idea Lab at the top pulls that Idea Lab, the trailing Idea Lab, out of that bottom 10%, then there are points for that. So you can see that it's not just competition that we are inducing, collaboration is also promoted. And then light but tight approach, we are not going to verify each and every information that is provided to us. We will believe that whatever is uploaded is true, but if we find that it is fudged, then the Idea Lab will be removed from the network. So as on date, this is the spread we have. Andhra Pradesh, we have 5 Idea Labs. Assam 1, Chhattisgarh is 1, Gujarat we have 2, Haryana 1, Jharkhand 1, Karnataka 5, Kerala 3, Maharashtra 5, Madhya Pradesh 5, Odisha 3, Pondicherry 1, Rajasthan 1, Tamil Nadu 5, Telangana state 4, UP 4, West Bengal 2. And we have also set up an Atal Idea Lab. We have Atal Academies, that is AICT's Training and Learning Academy. Two of them are in Murthal. One of them is in Murthal in Haryana, and the second one is very close to your place, that is Mudanhalli near Bangalore. So we are setting up Idea Labs there. There will be like model Idea Labs funded entirely by AICT. And the mandate to these Atal Idea Labs is to train the faculty. That means the FDPs will be held in these Idea Labs. Of course, basic FDPs will be allowed in the Idea Labs also, who are really doing well. So as an incentive for good performance, we will allow FDPs to be given to Idea Labs, and also they become hosts for Hackathon, the hardware edition. So these are the privileges we will be offering to well-performing Idea Labs. So during July to December, we conducted number of FDPs. So we started with basic FDPs, which was for the coordinators and co-coordinators. And these are 5-day FDPs. So we had that College of Engineering, Pune, Netaji Subhash University of Technology, Ajay Kumar Garg College of Engineering. And these were the first 3 that we had. And then we had 2 more at College of Engineering and D.Y. Patil International University. So you can see that COEP and D.Y. Patil, there is a gap of 1 day. So in September 22nd, we started in COE, and the next day it was. So we took advantage of the resource persons. So one resource person who went in the first was also available to. So we optimized by doing this. And if anyone has calendar, you can see that September 22nd was not Monday. It was middle of the week. So as an experiment, we started our FDP in the middle of the week. So we have broken the tradition of starting from a Monday. And this allows us to keep our participants engaged even on a Sunday. We realized that the chief mentors also should get involved directly, and we had a one-on-one dialogue with them, and a 1.5 day event that we conducted in AICT. So on 21st, they were with us, and in the afternoon, they were split into 2 groups. One group went to Ajay Kumar Garg College of Engineering, where there is a fab lab and where trainings were conducted, FDPs were conducted. And the second batch went to the Netaji Subhash University of Technology. So this was to show them what exactly an Idea Lab would have, what will be the atmosphere there. And as on date, there is no Idea Lab physically there. So they are all shaping up, and we are just waiting for 1 or 2 more months to see at least maybe 20-25 of them bloom in next 2 months, and within a month thereafter it will be the full 50. Then we conducted advanced FDPs also, and they were for the trainers or the gurus which I mentioned, and they were 7 days. So again we broke the tradition or the convention of having a 1 week FDP, but it being only 5 days. So here it was 7 day, starting from middle of the week. That means Saturday and Sunday were consumed in FDPs. We conducted 4 on smart manufacturing and 4 on electronic system design. In fact, I just want to correct here. It is three we have conducted, and one was due from 6th of January at both places, College of Engineering Pune and Netaji Subhash University. So they were due, but because of the pandemic, we had to just postpone it. So we have planned 4, and 3 are done in each of these 2. And out of the 7 days, 5 days are focused on the domain. That means if the FDP is on smart manufacturing, 5 days will be on smart manufacturing and 2 days will be on electronic system design. So that's how it is going to work. 90% hands-on component. So very little of theory is there. And I must share here that the faculty who attended, I was there on the valedictory session. They were saying, why you have kept it only 7 days? We do not want to go back to our homes. They worked right up to 8, 9, and even 11 p.m. at the night. They are not ready to go back to their hotels. So with this kind of FDPs that we organized, where they were totally engrossed, we feel that once they go back and Idea Lab starts at their place, they'll be able to transform the environment in their college. So they'll be able to inspire their students. They have seen for themselves how engaging, how absorbing learning can be. And this has to be passed on to the students. So that is what the mandate is for them. Some glimpses. You can see that 3D printed. In fact, the participants 3D printed themselves. You can see in the picture, some of them. So these are the projects, and these pictures that you see the faculty standing, they were taken at around 8 p.m. So this is the ambience in the FDP. Currently, we are into the phase 2, and we have been conducting online awareness programs. And right now, the proposals are coming. This year, institutions who have 10 years of EOAs from us, extension of approval, and at least one NB accredited program. So that was a criteria of defined last year, and we are still continuing with that. And once we are finished with this round, most likely by March or April, we will open up the scheme for rest of the institutions. So this is how we proceed after the evaluation. We conduct FDP programs so that the teachers, the faculty really know what exactly is going to happen. So unlike other FDPs where on-site FDPs, the often uninterested or disinterested faculty is sent out to attend FDPs. Here in our FDPs, we have found that there is a rush. More and more faculty wants to attend our FDPs. And also we have seen that the places where we have conducted FDPs, the other departments also want to do the FDPs in the way we have been conducting. So the way FDPs are happening are also going to change. That's what we are expecting. So I'm sure once we have our 2 Atal FDPs, Atal Idea Labs, many of you will get a chance to really participate in an FDP and experience not only joy of learning, but also how an FDP should actually take place. So I welcome you all to attend such FDPs as and when they happen in either our Atal labs or the IDEA labs that we identify for conducting FDP. So this is going to be a very exciting thing that IDEA Lab is going to offer to this technical education in this country. It is not that we insist that IDEA Lab should be talking to industry, nearby colleges. We ourselves in AICT integrate in an inward manner. So we are taking help of Atal Cell for organizing the FDPs. We are taking help of Atal Cell for establishing the Atal IDEA Lab at 2 places which I mentioned. For student induction program, we have an IP cell, and we insist that in the orientation program or the student induction program which is conducted, IDEA Lab exposure is given to all the students. Then for faculty development program, for the faculty development cell is there. For them, we have shook hands for FDPs and STTPs. And we are also going to insist or suggest that all those faculty who are new faculty who have to undergo that 1-year program should spend at least 1 week with us in one of the IDEA labs. Then for internships, we are taking care of the NEET cell. For hardware hackathon, we are going to collaborate with MIC, Ministry's Innovation Cell. So you can see that it is not that we are talking or pushing our IDEA labs to join hands, but we, at our own level within AICT, also we practice what we preach. So these are the expectations that we have from institutions, that they identify right kind of faculty coordinator, co-coordinator, gurus, because it is not a academic thing or a project which can be done within a room, sitting before a computer. So it requires a lot of moving around, a lot of efforts, planning, coordination, all these things. So the right kind of faculty has to be identified, and a very good dialogue interface with departments and industry. So this has to be kept alive and kicking. Procurement of very good quality equipment. We do not want equipment to be compromised, so that activities stop for want of equipment or tools and consumables. And consumables have to be kept replenished all the time. And alignment of lab with national initiatives, challenges, whichever is announced by the government. So there has to be purpose for these IDEA labs, and we give full freedom to these labs to align or take up anything that they want. So whatever is prescribed by us is only suggestive, and we want to see them grow and compete with each other. An organization of events with enthusiasm. So everybody has to get involved. So it is not just for the sake of generating numbers that we want activities to happen. It should really impact, and that requires involvement with enthusiasm. So all the faculty, those who get involved, should feel happy becoming part of this. And lastly, the mainstreaming IDEA Lab in institutional academic activities to change the culture itself. So as I said earlier, that we have been pushing education. We have syllabus that is designed to push education. We have teachers, we have classrooms, we have everything which is pushing education. But what we want is learning. The world is going to be learner-centered, and we have to change our institutions also. And we believe that IDEA Lab is an experiment which can make this change happen. So that is our website. We call it as IdealNet. It's IDEA Lab Network. So that is a homepage of our network. And this is the way eligible institutions apply. And this is the steering committee we have. Professor Prabhat Ranjan, he is Vice Chancellor of D.Y. Patil International University. Professor Patnaik, Professor Dhananjay Gadre, Professor Ashiv Shah. So all these people, this is a committee, we are meeting almost every Thursday. And jokingly, we call it as a thrust day, so that we don't sit idle. And right from selection of college to hand-holding them, all these people are involved. They have conducted FDPs and now they are preparing gurus so that all the idea labs have people who can perform like them. So that is the level of their commitment and contribution to this activity. And Professor Prabhat Ranjan, he says that Idea Lab should not remain as a scheme, but it should become a movement and spread across the country. That is a power it has. And AICT chairman, Professor Sahasrabuddhe, also believes that Idea Lab could be a game changer for technical education. So we would like to see more and more institutions participate. And so I sum up by identifying distinguishing features for you. So it's 24/7 by 365. Everybody has heard of 24/7, but here we are adding 365 also. So it's for everyone in the campus and outside also. It could be a student of any year, any course, any discipline, any department. It could be a technician, it could be faculty, researcher, a school student. It is open for all. And it is placed right under the head of institution so that no department can claim it or debar others from stepping in. So it is directly under the head of institution, who is designated as chief mentor of this Idea Lab. Then orientation, practicals, internships, projects, scaling, all these are necessarily going to happen. And this will ensure that equipment and the money spent is fully utilized. Faculty development is going to be major focus because, as I said earlier, classrooms have become so boring and teachers will have to reorient themselves, and they need to undergo some courses of Idea Labs to really understand where education or learning is going to trend. So national network, physical, electronic, and emotional. Physically, we will ensure that all the Idea Labs meet at one place. They're already electronically connected, and we have weekly meetings. And emotionally, we have bonded them through a logo that you can see on the screen. So that has to be displayed by all Idea Labs, and that's going to keep the flock together. And inward and outward integration that I explained, integration with national initiatives. So whichever national initiative or any project is going to be announced, we will like to take advantage of that and see that our Idea Labs get benefited from that. And I'm sure you have noted that this doesn't happen in many schemes. And mentoring and monitoring. So these have to be there to ensure that Idea Labs really perform and shine. I think I've come to my last slide and closing quote. Our great mistake in education is, as it seems to me, the worship of book learning, the confusion of instruction and education. We strain the memory instead of cultivating the mind. So Idea Labs are going to be places to cultivate the minds. So I stop here and thank you very much. I write blogs on education. You can just scan this QR code and see my blogs.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, there are participants who are waiting to ask a few questions.
Yes, I'll be happy to take them.
Yes, sir. Just a minute, sir. Okay. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Good
Yeah,
afternoon. This is Ravi. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Good afternoon, Neeraj, sir. It is a good initiative. We all appreciate the efforts put in by ICT in bringing about Idea Labs, which is, of course, going to be a game changer. There is no doubt about it uh, because of the NEP 2020 coming into the fore, and there has to be a great change in the education system, and this is going to be a great game changer in that.
Right.
My question is that, as you said, it requires around a crore of rupees of investment for that, of
Yeah.
which, of course, if the institution or the industry is ready to share 50% or 55 lakh rupees, and other things will be funded by the CTA.
Yeah.
And the land requirement, is there any idea about which is the minimum on land required for that area required in the campus? And the people to maintain that, there has to be a full-time faculty coordinator. Are they going to be given the full-time responsibility of that, or can it be a part of their duty, academic duty? Because to maintain such a big lab and coordinate all the people around the students and the programs what the Idea Lab is planning, need to be a kind of full-time job for a coordinator, or FCC or FC, faculty
Oh,
coordinator, faculty co-coordinator. So
uh-huh.
if you can give us some more details on the requirements,
Yeah.
it would be
So let
great
me
for
first,
institution.
yeah. About space, I've already mentioned that anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 square foot of built-up area is required,
Okay.
and it has to be under one roof. And if
Mm.
you have two rooms, they have to be, juxtaposing next to each other. They
Okay.
cannot be at a different places.
Mm-hmm.
Then you mentioned about full-time faculty. So
Right.
initially there will be faculty required full-time, but what we anticipate is that within 2 years, this lab will be taken over by the students.
Right. Okay.
Students will, use it like anything.
Mm-hmm.
Faculty will be just for monitoring, and just you'll be from the ring side. Very little commitment will be required. Of course, you have to see them that the place is safe,
Mm-hmm.
and consumables are replenished, and all
Mm-hmm.
these things. But but we feel that, students, the charged up students, will not let anybody else enter.
Okay. That's the idea. Of course, the students has
Yeah,
to be with the forefront and to make use of those labs.
right.
And sir, is there any special criteria that the institution should have other than investing and having the land and the built-up area required, like accredited institutions or any other kind of criteria is required?
No, at this stage, commitment from institution is uh, for the space and for the faculty.
Okay.
Yeah, and institution has to send these faculty for training,
Right.
so that they really understand what exactly an Idea Lab is. Because speaking here for 1 hour will not really tell you what exactly how it feels to be in an Idea Lab.
That's right.
Once you attend an FDP, he will really understand the degree of engagement uh, that is going to be there.
Mm. Right. That's it. That means you advise that a faculty member should get the training first for a week or so to understand the complete
Right.
details about the Idea Lab, and then come and talk with the management, and then
Right.
go ahead with establishing that
So
lab.
actually, when we selected these 50 institutions, there
Mm,
was nothing like Idea Lab. So we did
mm,
not really have anything, any infrastructure for their training.
mm,
And we realized that without training, it will not work, because we have given liberty to these institutions to buy equipment. They have to decide on their own.
mm,
AICT is not going to prescribe anything, specifications.
mm,
So they have to brainstorm, they have to talk to other Idea Labs, they have to talk to other experts, move around, and this is what we are facilitating.
mm.
So full freedom is given to them to decide about the specification, choose the equipment. It can be large at this stage or a smaller one, whatever. It is completely left to the institutions. So, we know that most of you are exposed to RPS and MODROBs.
Yeah, Mudras, they
Where
are
it is
aware of
a
it.
linear process.
Mhm.
Purchase of equipment, installation, utilization. But here it is a basket of equipment, first thing. Second is it's a large number of equipment, and one faculty cannot really decide. So you require involvement of many of your colleagues and maybe outside expert also. And due course, when we have more Idea Labs, we will strongly encourage the aspiring institutions to have a dialogue with the existing Idea Labs.
That's good.
And when these Idea Labs, the ones we are setting up, are in place, we will allow them to conduct basic FDPs. So this will be open for all faculty across the board. And that will give an opportunity for all aspiring institutions to really understand and get a feel of the commitment required, the resources required, and what it can bring for you.
Yeah, that's right. I think the institution what
I'll just give example that in the Pune FDP, all of them, all the participants, the faculty, they were made to create a lathe machine. So all of them did that.
Right.
And they carried back as trophy.
Okay.
Each one was each college. There were 18 colleges in that group, and all of them went back with that.
That's
So
great.
it is, yeah, end to end, creating a product. First, learning all the methods and then delivering it. So that was just one exposure, and all that is to be repeated. And when they go back to their institution, they have to do it again. And in fact, many of them have actually started doing FDPs even before the Idea Lab itself. With whatever they have, they are doing FDPs now.
That's right. I think the Idea Lab you are planning to start at Mudenhalli here in Karnataka will be a standard kind of Idea Lab which you can visit and get information about it.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Right.
Neeraj sir, can I ask you some questions? Though you have answered two of the questions that I already was thinking of asking you, but still for the convenience of continuity, I'll repeat. I am from a social sciences stream. So my first question was obviously that is the concept of Idea Lab for only engineering institutions? But then another interrelated question is that can a social science department propose to develop one for ensuring an interdisciplinary research and development? Like these days, many universities have departments which have like social sciences also and technical departments also. So can a social science department be the originator of the Idea Lab in that institution?
It will be very difficult because it's highly technical.
Yes, sir.
The setup requires people with engineering background.
But can they not do collaboratively? So, like for example, like I belong to mass media, and there we have a concept of AR VR very heavily being integrated into media productions.
I was about to say that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You have stolen my words. See, what we have even said that Idea Lab is a basic component.
G.
It is up to the institute to take it to any level.
Right, sir.
We are only starting it.
Right, sir.
The sky is the limit. If you want to add AR, VR to it, we are not going to stop. We'll encourage you so that others follow you. And the concept spreads. We'll also showcase you before others.
Right, sir. Sir, related to this only, because there could be two institutions side by side, but one of them has these resources of this space But can these two collaborate on the initial funding? Because as you said, AICT would give 50%. For the other 50%, can more than one institute collaborate with each other and using the space at one institute, they create a facility which can be used by all?
Yeah, that can be an internal arrangement between them. We have no problem.
Right, sir. Sir, in continuation to that, only once an Idea Lab starts, will it be open to outsiders also, like somebody who is not related to the institution, but they
Yes.
want to conduct the research and use the facility?
Yes.
So will we be having some guidelines also to that effect, sir?
Yes, we will frame, and it is not just the Idea Lab facilities. Through Idea Lab, it will be possible to access all the major equipment which have been funded by the government and which are spread across all the institutions, whether it's DRDO lab or it is IITs, that also can be accessed through Idea Lab.
That's really very thoughtful of you. So it's a wonderful concept. I just hope that successfully we are able to
Yeah,
implement
we
it.
are working hard on it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Neeraj sir, there is one question from my side.
Yes.
So in the evaluation parameters, is there any restriction on the number of coordinators?
No, we want two.
Okay.
Internally, there could be any number. We have no problem. But for the sake of project and for as a nodal
Project point of view.
contact point. Yeah, we don't want too many. That creates problem for us.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Sir, and what will be the what does an industry get by contributing financially in the establishment of Idea Lab? So how the industry will be getting a benefit from this?
So first is if they match our grants, if they give 55 lakh, then their names come before us.
Okay, so they can put their name in between
Yeah,
with
before
the
AICT,
AICT.
we are giving that privilege. Before AICT, they, if you look at the word business.
Yes, sir.
U comes before I.
That's right, sir.
So here in Idea Lab, if somebody comes with a bigger purse than ours, we will allow their name to be put first. So if it is XYZ industry, it becomes XYZ AICT Idea Lab.
Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Smaller contributions are always welcome. You can always say that by contributing say 10 lakh or 15 lakh, you will be able to access facilities worth 1 crore.
Okay.
It is at your disposal, 1 crore. And not only that, through Idea Lab, you can get access to facilities in IITs also, which are, you don't need to buy them.
Can we have multiple industries, sir?
Yes.
In one lab? Okay.
Yes. As many as you want.
Okay.
No restriction.
No restriction.
In fact, we would like to see that entire money comes from industry and institution. Nothing should institution funds should only be for running it.
Okay.
For infrastructure, let the funds come from industry. What is the harm? They will also be very happy to see that some infrastructure, something.
There is a collaboration.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, Mukesh Kumar. Yes, sir. Sir, you can ask the question, sir. Mukesh, sir.
Sir, I have something relevance to the earlier professor.
Yeah.
I have someone in my family who is running kind of private training. Okay, not really a proper engineering college or kind of thing. So would those kind of people be allowed to have this kind of collaboration? I mean, they can have their fund and infrastructure, everything, but obviously the authentication and authorization relies upon UGC and AICTE. So would they be allowed something like this to do it at the private level?
No, Idea Lab is meant for academic institutions. If they want to participate in it in financial way, they are welcome.
Yes, so that's
but
what
we cannot have Idea Lab.
They cannot have it. Okay,
Yes.
So they have to establish it with one of the engineering colleges.
Yes.
Only.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you, sir.
Participants, do you have any other questions? I guess that's it, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for it was a great pleasure to listen to your wise words, knowledgeable words, and learn so much from you, sir. I take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of our entire ATME College of Engineering and participants who were captivated by your talk.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So participants, tomorrow the session 10th will start at 9:30 a.m. So a feedback form has been floated in the WhatsApp group. So please fill the feedback form. And tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. session 10th will start, and it will be addressed by expert Dr. P. Nagabhushan sir, who is Director IIT Allahabad, India. So thank you one and all.